potential for the behind-the-scenes deal. According to our Adam Schefter, the NFL and the Patriots are engaged in, quote, back-channel conversations to see if the two sides can resolve their differences without an appeal or possible litigation following the league's Deflategate punishment, sources telling our Adam Schefter. The Patriots are weighing their next move in terms of reacting to the discipline meted out by the NFL and have been told before Friday to file an appeal of their penalties, which consists of the loss of 2 draft picks and a $1 million fine. The team's penalties were for, among other issues, what the NFL said was a lack of cooperation with the investigation. Patriots owner Robert Kraft and Commissioner Roger Goodell are expected to attend the spring owners' meetings, which start today in San Francisco. Kraft, when asked by Peter King at the MMQB whether he would violate NFL bylaws by going to court, declined to comment, saying, quote, I'm not going to comment on that at this point in time. I'm going to leave it. I won't say. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady suspended 4 games for blah, blah, blah. Brady has officially appealed his suspension to the league. So, Mike, as it become legendary behind the scenes on this show, there are things going on behind the scenes you don't know about.
And it'll be interesting because what they're talking about, the owner, Robert Kraft, and supposedly Goodell in these backdoor channels, is about the $1 million fine and the draft picks. Again, a first-rounder in 2016 and a fourth-rounder in 2017, which, quite honestly, the million, I don't think anybody really cares about except for Robert Kraft. When you have to pull out $1 million, I don't care how much money you make. Certainly draft picks can hurt you, but the biggest thing here is about Tom Brady and the 4-game suspension. Now, as part of this possible, as Adam Schefter is reporting, behind the scenes negotiations going on, part of it would possibly be when Tom Brady's appeal is heard, that it would get dropped a couple of games, but also the league was looking to have Tom Brady, because we had said if the penalties get lessened, are the Patriots going to accept it or are they going to sue? Well, part of these supposed backdoor negotiations would be that the league would drop the suspension sum only on the you want to call it a promise, on the thought that Tom Brady would not sue the league and accept whatever it would go get knocked down to, a 2-game suspension. Let's just say that for the ease of the conversation, that he would accept that 2-game suspension, and then everybody would just move on from there, and this wouldn't go to the court system. So,
well, I mean, Brady is very upset about this. Obviously, he's so devastated by what's going on that he's currently in the Bahamas playing golf with Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
he and Michael Jordan tend to play golf a lot together, and parenthetically, neither one of them seems to own appropriate golf attire. Have you noticed that? Every picture I see of the two of them playing golf together, they're wearing T-shirts. Where is it you can play golf dressed like that?
In the Bahamas.
I don't know. I've never actually, well, I was in the Bahamas once as a kid. I haven't been there in a long time, and I have not ever played golf there, but do you not have to wear appropriate golf attire?
I certainly would try everything not to. I'd wear a thong in the Bahamas on the golf course if I could.
And then thus you'd be the only one on the golf course.
It'd be a lot of chafing.
That would be a whole different kind of double bogey. But
need some gold bond.
The point is, little Patriot Ray over there says if you're Brady, any attire is proper attire.
Oh, God.
But more to the point, I don't think Brady can do that. Now, I read this yesterday. Bloomberg News is the source for this. The marketing arm, which is a Dallas company that co-produces the index known as the Celebrity DBI. And you may recall, if you listened to our show many years ago, we went through this whole thing with the DBI. It's a different way of judging Q rating. It has a few more specifics for celebrities. We both made it. Remember, we were like among the top 1,200 most famous people.
Yeah, we were.
We were ecstatic.
I think we were in the 700 or 800 something.
No, you were. I was like 1,000 and something.
Yeah.
You were way higher.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
I was devastated by that. But anyway, none of that is the point.
Except for us.
According to the Celebrity DBI, which measures a lot of things, including a person's ability to endorse products, Tom Brady's standing has plunged after being suspended 4 games by the NFL. Out of 3,686 celebrities ranked in the index, Brady came in 3,027th, on par with Bill O'Reilly and Billy Bob Thornton. He previously rated in the top 3rd after being named MVP of the Super Bowl. A dude, Matt Delzell from the Celebrity DBI, said, "We expected a significant drop, but this is huge." The DBI index measures 8 different attributes among celebrities and assigns them overall index values based on a blend of the individual scores. Awareness is the most important attribute. But even before Deflategate, while Brady did not rank highly in the appeal category, he did rank very highly in the aspiration category, meaning how much consumers wanted his lifestyle. It's pretty easy to figure out.
Sure.
He's a superstar quarterback. He makes all the money in the world, and he's married to a supermodel. So it's easy to see why people would aspire to that. I guess the point is, if you look at the actor Billy Bob Thornton, I don't know. I don't know exactly what people think of him. The commentator Bill O'Reilly is obviously extremely polarizing.
Yes,
some people love him and some people hate him. Tom Brady's a football player.
Right.
Even though there are people who dislike the Patriots, you're not supposed to be that kind of polarizing. This is a very long way of saying, for me, if I'm Tom Brady and I believe I didn't do anything, I'm not accepting the penalty without fighting it every single way I can, no matter what behind-the-scenes cigar, smoke room deal my owner and the commissioner make.
I get that from his side. I mean, I like those, stats and that whole spiel just there, but I don't think Tom Brady cares one bit about that.
You don't? About his reputation?
No, that's not his reputation. That's a whatever. That's a rating.
But it is a rating that measures how his reputation has been
his
affected.
Legacy. That's what he's concerned about.
Yeah, but I think that is what that is. That is a reflection of the fact that people have lost confidence in him. People think he's a cheater. At the end of the day, why is he a less?
Isn't that about marketability?
Yeah, but why is he less desirable as an endorser? People think he's a cheater.
I'm not going to get in an argument about that. Okay, that I'm with you. That's fine. Well, that's about his legacy.
That is to me the best way to quantify the degree to which people believe Brady's a cheater. Okay. And so if I'm Brady, I want to clear my name.
No. That we agree on. And that was a part I was going to get to. I wonder if he would do that. I wonder how far he will go, because that would be part of this, is for him to accept. If there was a reduction and to move on. There's another side of this. There's the commissioner, Roger Goodell, basically, what do you want to call it, to Troy Vincent? I'm not going to say it to Ted Wells, because as far as the NFL is concerned, it was an independent investigation. There are many out there that want to laugh at that, and that's certainly your right to laugh at it. But okay, I mean, if you think Roger Goodell had his hand in the investigation the whole way, or he just let Ted Wells do the investigation, that's up to you to decide of what you want to think. So I don't think it's about Roger Goodell. All of a sudden, they're saying, "Oh, he's knocking down his own guy in Ted Wells by ripping the report." I think he may say there's some inconsistencies in the report, and then how will he deal with it? Quite honestly, with Troy Vincent, who works for him, I think a way, if you are going to lower it, I think a way to say would be, I'm happy Troy came out strong with this. I'm happy he laid, for the integrity of the game. But I do think, there are some questioning things in the investigation. So I'm going to drop it down.
Well, you can drop it down without questioning the investigation. The investigation did not determine the penalty.
You're right. Yeah.
You can say, I believe that the facts of the investigation to be accurate.
For a reason. I mean,
I'm dropping it down because I believe that the punishment levied by my own office was not appropriate based upon the findings of the investigation. You don't have to be knocking down the investigation and knock down the penalties. Remember, they released those separately.
Yes. Ted Wells was not involved in the investigation.
Right. Then they waited to hear all the reaction, floated the trial balloon, and then said, okay, it's 4 games and it's this and it's that. And largely, at least according to the poll that we did with ABC News, people liked it.
They did.
So why are you now going to make a plea deal? Because Robert Kraft isn't going to let it go, and you don't want your most powerful owner losing his mind on you.
You don't want to go to court. You don't want this thing to go any. This goes back to what I said yesterday, where I disagreed with you. I don't think they're looking at this as we're still in the public eye, so that's good for our sport. The sport of football doesn't need that. They don't need this kind of publicity.
I don't think they think it. I'm not sure that it isn't, by the law of unintended consequences, actually a good thing.
No, I completely couldn't disagree more with that, but that's not the point here. The point is that they don't want to go to court. They want this thing to go away. And this thing, because it goes to court, it's going to stay out there more and more and more. So they want this ended. And if it ends with a backdoor deal, it wouldn't be the first or the last time something like that happens. Then I wonder what public perception will be then.
I think if Tom Brady allows any punishment to be upheld without fighting it to whatever level he can, let's just play this out, okay? That DBI thing, the reason I read you that is because I think that is an indication that the public, by and large, thinks he's a cheater.
Right.
And whether he really cares about how that affects his marketability or not,
he cares about how it affects him. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't want people to think he's a cheater. He wants people to think he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Absolutely agree.
And I would feel exactly the same way. If I'm him and I'm innocent, then I would say, listen, Mr. Kraft, with all due respect, I love you and thanks for everything you've done for me, but I'm not going down without a fight. Now, if I exhaust all of my appeals and all of my options and I fight this with everything I have and I'm still suspended 4 games
so
or 2 games or 1 game, so be it.
I emptied the barrel.
But I'm not letting you make a deal so that it gets knocked down to 2 games, because everyone will read that as Brady accepts the suspension, thus Brady acknowledges guilt.
Right.
That's how that will read,
without
no matter
question.
how you try and spin
without
it.
question.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, without question.
So I don't think he's going to let that go. That's my guess.
And if he does let it go, then everybody is going to go that route.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that they will. Whether that's fair or unfair, I think it's a somewhat logical conclusion to reach. Now, I'm not sure logic has applied to any of this from the beginning.
And I wonder how much then they would try and sell that, especially at Tom Brady, to say, I'm accepting the 2 game, I'm accepting no guilt in this, but we thought it was best for the organization. You can end up spinning
I can't wait to hear the reaction to that.
More talking from an organization that has never done a whole lot of talking. I thought Herm Edwards brought up a great point yesterday. Before this report was even out, all the talking that was coming out of New England.
Well, I think Dave Mishkin said it best when he said,
how did that feel?
all right, we are Mike and Mike. The NBA's Final Four begins tonight, but before the games begin, the ping pong balls will fly, and I have some behind the scenes for you on that in 60 seconds after this.